Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Well, New Russia at its best. Check it out now, right? In the world of boxing, we had this infamous fight about a year ago between undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney, the youngest in history, versus Ryan Garcia, a very popular fighter. Now, in this fight, we had a guy come in for 140 pounds, I think they were fighting at, came in 3.5 pounds too heavy. Now, people are in boxing and the boxing world, let's say people who actually fight and have to lose weight, trainers, promoters, and the like, right? And people in the team. There's enough people in the world of boxing that will tell you that know and understand what it is to not make weight by 3.5 pounds, right? As opposed to your opponent getting those last 3.5 pounds off. That you're going to be affected in the fight. There's enough people to know that. That's why when that happened, I didn't even talk about the other stuff. I was just talking about that at first. Because that's enough to where that fight, you're supposed to be actually like not taking it. But Devin Haney took the fight anyway because he wanted the people to make sure he just ain't gonna pull out the fight. Plus, he was fully confident of beating the guy, even though the guy was basically cheating him. Now, he just didn't know that the guy was also on 2 different dope substances, right? Which everybody should have known how he was acting up to the fight. But be it as it may, they had the fight. Ryan Garcia wins the fight per majority decision, has Devin Haney down on 3 separate occasions. Devin Haney keeps getting up, but loses that fight. Later, that fight was taken away because the man was obviously doped, right? So, but it wasn't for a title anyway because, you can't fight for a title if you don't make the weight. But it's about what happened after the fight. People were upset at Devin Haney because he wanted to sue the guy. He wanted to sue Ryan Garcia because, his reputation was down. People would tell you, these are what people were saying. He's never going to be the same. He's taken years from his life and all of that kind of stuff. And we can never not see, it's ingrained in our brains. We saw him on the canvas, right? So, basically, he lost. It don't matter. He was doped. Or here's another one. It was just, a little bit of dope in him. Really didn't make a difference. So all of that he's going through. So, you getting sued, bro, because that's, it is what it is. So, and now you look at articles, and these articles, especially Fox News of boxing, Box News 24 and the likes, these people won't even say that the dude was doped. They'll try to not mention that, Devin Haney looks bad in his next fight. So Devin Haney comes back and fights a unified champion, and Jose Ramirez in a higher weight class. And he stays on the outside, stays on the outside, and does what he should do to just win this fight to secure the rematch with Ryan Garcia. Now he's a runner. And here's where they try to get you. Now he's always been a runner. Undefeated guy who stood in the pocket with several fighters. He didn't run from Cambosis. He didn't run from Jojo Diaz. He didn't run from Linares. He didn't run from Lomachenko. He didn't run from all those people, right? Actually, he was going towards people who hit harder than him, right? But they didn't fight him. But anyway, you can slip that in there and people want to believe it anyway. So he's got to go through this kind of stuff the whole time, all this negativity, right? Now, Ryan Garcia, on the other hand, comes to the fight against Rolly Ramiro, who's not a top-notch fighter, but is still Rolly, right? And gets knocked down and is scared the rest of the fight to engage. Now, he's obviously acting different leading up to the fight. His body's obviously different, and his fighting style and, everything about him was obviously different. Obviously, he didn't have no dope in him, which means the confidence was gone. The beating of the chest and the beating of the face when somebody hits him, all that was gone. And we're not talking about that. No one's talking about that. Ryan Garcia is the story here, not Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia is the story here. Doping matters is the story here, right? Definitely. Everything else is behind that. What would Devin Haney do? Devin Haney's supposed to just fight. You were done wrong. See if you can come back, and whatever you do is cream for us. We're not really paying attention to you. We just want to make sure you come back and fight. That's what that should be. Ryan Garcia, we're looking at you because you was doped. Let's see what you're going to look like. Oh, my goodness. You don't look nothing as the same at all. So here's the deal. His promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, said, hey, you know something? We ain't going to rematch Devin Haney. Like kind of insinuating that Devin Haney doesn't deserve it. We're not going we're going to go in a different direction. Maybe Rolly Romero or something. Let me tell you something. They ain't going in no direction. Ryan Garcia is going to have problems, right, without the dope. Bottom line is no dope, no fight. And that's not only for Devin Haney. No dope, no fight. Anybody close to elite, we don't have to go elite, good, in any weight division. Do you see Ryan Garcia? Because he probably can't get down to 140, but if he did get down to 140, who the hell he gonna beat that's kind of elite? If he goes to 147, I remember all that. Let's fight Boots Ennis. He ain't saying that now with no dope in him. That's just, because people think he's going to have problems with Rolly Romero in the rematch. So that's what I'm talking about. No dope, no fight, right? Let's get off Devin Haney, focus on Ryan Garcia, and y'all, those fans of him that were just happy to see some BTBG, right? You better get with your boy and see what you can do, or find a new type of dope that they can't trace, because if not, you're going to be in trouble. That's what I'm saying. No dope, no fight. So we ain't getting no Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia rematch because Ryan can't dope. And here's something else that people don't mention to you. Ryan Garcia was Devin Haney's mandatory challenger at 135. I'd like to repeat that. Didn't want to fight him then, right? Wanted to fight anybody except him. And it was the Four Kings, remember that, right? He said Devin Haney's harder than Lomachenko, harder than Teofimo Lopez, harder than Gervonta Davis. He said Devin Haney was the hardest fight. That's why he didn't fight him. That's why when he finally did fight him, he needed the Austrian and the Nandrolone and not making weight, because Devin Haney is the hardest. Just in case you guys forgot, I haven't, and neither has Ryan Garcia. Doma Sports Talk. Worldwide, no dope, no fight. And I'm up out of here, y'all.